Hi, my name is Daniel from MBTV, and I prefer the ENFJ personality type. So what does that even mean, like ENFJ? So in this video, we're gonna take a look at the ENFJ overview. I want to explain a little bit about like my childhood growing up and to kind of how I kind of came to be personality-wise. And again, I just want to talk about a little bit first that I prefer ENFJ. I'm not saying that I am one, and so I want to destroy the stigma out there that is people are just like a four-letter word. Type, first of all, is way more in detail than just a four-letter word or profile. It's more than functions because people are unique. MBTI is actually not a personality indicating tool. It's like a cognitive profiling tool to really understand behaviors and people on a more cognitive level. So personality typing and type is shorthand for really understanding people in a different way that does not connect at all to personality. Being an ENFJ is very unique. I believe that every type is unique in its own way. But I grew up very different, I feel like. For me personally, I was very sheltered when I grew up, and I wasn't really exposed to people, and I was very socially inhibited, and I didn't have too many friends, and I was going through a lot of negative life situations growing up, all the way till I was 18 years old. So I wanted it, I craved, I desired to really friend people, to meet people, to really explore. A lot of my videos that you might see, really exhibit intuitive behavior as far as opportunity. I have this slant to me that really enjoys, meeting new people because from growing up, it just shaped me in that way. So I kind of grew up very sheltered, right? And that just led me to really appreciate people and really take in the moment when I meet people, when I meet strangers. I'm very easy to talk to. I'm very, very present with people. I have some introversion qualities. We all do when you look at MBTI. And for me, recently I've been very introverted. And I solely believe that is because I'm starting to tackle different ways of life for myself, and I'm trying to grow as a person. And I'll maybe get into that in a different video. But pretty much the overview, right, is that, I'm very people-based, and that really has to do with extroverted feeling and introverted intuition. Part of me really loves to enjoy people, understanding people, and using my insights to further my, agenda of understanding people with people, right? So there's always this idea of growing and meeting people and putting my, not just emotions and feelings in the environment, because the stigma with extroverted feeling is that it's just people, it's emotional, right? And this is a crazy stigma, because when somebody's saying like, oh, Daniel is just FE, extroverted feeling right now, or FEing, I don't know. The idea is that with any function, it exhibits certain characteristics, right? So extroverted feeling for me, I always need to make sure that my environment is representing the morals and values that I'm either adapting to or that I have personally. And I always try to make sure that there is a harmony, right, within my environment, just like an extroverted feeler would want a logical harmony. So the idea is that for me, I'm all about people, and I'm all about making sure that there's a harmony, right, with people. So you'll find ENFJs really going along with the group, and people or a friend, like if a friend says like, oh, I want to do this, they'll probably just go out and do that. ENFJs are really good at really making people feel like their needs are being met within a group or at work or in a relationship. We're very people focused and driven to understand, to create that harmony with people. Now, obviously, there are some weaknesses to this. A lot of the times ENFJs can really neglect their own personal needs because their focus really is people and creating a harmony outside of them. So I believe that, ENFJs really do need to tap into who they are and to really give themselves that attention. Because, a lot of people can stretch themselves thin doing that. And, I've been there in the past, but that's something you learn over time. So that's kind of extroverted feeling for an ENFJ. I'm very self-aware of, especially when I'm dating somebody or I'm in a friendship, if the needs are there. You have to remember that whatever your dominant function is, that it's so conscious, it's almost unconscious, right? So I'll give you an example. Like in any environment that I'm in with people, I'm like already in the know of how to create the harmony for in that environment. Whether Susie and Alex, their energy is being drained and they're going to want to leave soon, or David is he's starting to feel kind of mad, and maybe I can interject and put myself between him and whatever's causing that, so we can maintain this average of equanimity in the environment. And I have probably about maybe 10 to 15 things like that going on. And you can adapt this idea across the board with other functions, but the idea is that for me, extroverted feeling is almost subconscious because it's just something I naturally do and gravitate towards. So I'm always in the know how to create and create this harmony in my environment and be in my environment if I want to, and focus and put my attention on others and there's values that I exemplify or I want to exemplify. It's a really big deal. Any extrovert you meet, you're not going to be able to see their secondary function. You're not going to be able to see, for me, for example, intuition. You're not going to be able to see that on the surface. That's something that that's tapped into once I've liked you. For an ENFJ specifically, it may be really nice to, I really enjoy talking about intuition. I really enjoy talking like below the surface concepts. And that's not something I show on the surface, though. As an ENFJ, it's all about people, remember? So that's something I naturally do. So for an ENFJ, ENFJs use intuition as like a tool, right? It helps us navigate through life. It helps us with people. So a lot of ENFJs can seem very grounding. We can always seem very in the know of things. We can seem very wisdom driven. We can seem wise. And we can seem like we're very competent in understanding people because we have a focus on that. We have a focus on what you're saying and understanding that, right? Similarly to an INFJ, where the INFJ wants to understand first and then relate, right? You're not going to see an extrovert use his secondary function unless you've gained that kind of that rapport with them, that credibility. So you're not going to gain that credibility unless you really focus on getting to know the ENFJ, right? So, for me, like when I see somebody really want to understand or get to know me and, talk about what's important, that allows me to kind of open up into different ideas. And so if you meet an ENFJ, you're going to notice that they're going to be very friendly, but then they're not really going to show you their intuition because it's kind of what they use to help them understand people or situations. So to go down the ladder of, opening them up into those functions, you have to explore extroverted feeling, and then you're going to have to explore, getting to know the person. So it's very easy for me to open up regardless. And so talking about intuitive concepts and, philosophy is really cool to me. I really appreciate those kinds of conversations. I would say one of the best things to know about an ENFJ, or some things to know about an ENFJ, is that we really value authenticity. We really appreciate when people are real for us, even if it may hurt, to be direct. We really want to, create that harmony between not just a group of people or a party, but, one-on-one. So you may see us always kind of constantly trying to validate or, understand the synchronicity that we may have with a certain person of mine. And so, for example, I'm always kind of making sure that I'm okay with people and that I'm touching base and, making people feel comfortable and, interested is kind of on my mind. One of the other things I really think you should take away from this is that people are going to have moments in their life or phases where they really want to become, something else or explore themselves in a different way. And so, like for me, for example, I can be very introverted at times and I can be to myself. Now that's one of my preferences. I can have periodic moments in time for like maybe a couple of days or weeks where I could care less to go out and meet people. Sometimes I just need to give myself me time. And I guess that's something that comes with age, something that comes with valuing it. And so you have to remember that, you know, a lot of the things that I'm saying, these are the things that I do, I value, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to do with extroverted feeling. But I've always kind of valued putting myself around logical thinkers, which is my inferior function, to really kind of grasp that. And we kind of surround ourselves naturally with people who help us grow as people. And so I have, you know, dominant sensor friends, and I have dominant intuitive friends, and I have dominant feeler friends, you know. And so this just kind of naturally happens in my life, and it may happen for many others. I see it as a correlation. You know, we're just surrounded with so many people. You know, we seem to connect with people and become really close to people that can help us grow in different ways. So I feel like, in a way, ENFJs, you know, myself included, are very personal growth driven at heart. We're very helper driven at heart. The agenda is probably different at its core for ENFJ. But, you know, I'm very agenda based. I'm very, you know, as far as, you know, what I want to do with life, as far as, you know, growing, I'm always moving. So a lot of people will see that I am a goofball. You know, I'm not always serious. And sometimes I forget to exhibit, you know, a personality. And in some videos, you may see me not having much of an ENFJ feel. This is a different video, obviously. I'm trying to show myself more. But I actually, you know, growing up, like I was trying to mention before, is, you know, I grew up really very stoic. I grew up with not that much attention. Even as a baby, my mom didn't really, I was told that my mom didn't give me the attention that a baby would need in the direct sense of communication and behaviors. I was a very dull looking baby. I wasn't very expressional. This has followed me through different areas of my life, and so this is something that has, you know, happened to me, something that I just naturally live with. Is that I don't really give off like a very emotional vibe, even though I am very emotional at heart, and it's my main mode. And so I just wanted to throw that out there because you know, that's something that I naturally do, is that I may not seem that way, but I definitely am. The idea with an ENFJ amongst everything out is love, pretty much, and giving. I would say this is probably one of the most important things about ENFJs. You know, like I really, you know, I love a lot of people, and I feel like I'm connected to everybody. Not to get into many spiritual topics, but you know, I like an ENFJ will pretty much, or ENFP, ENFJ, I think can pretty much agree with, and this may vary obviously, that, you know, strangers are only friends we haven't met. Strangers are only family members that we haven't met. I believe that any type is able to recognize this kind of understanding, but I truly love to get to know people, and I really love meeting random people, strangers, and creating bonds with those people. That's something I really value. I really value expressing my authenticity and just being myself, and people being able to receive that. You know, I don't want to feel like, you know, I'm somebody else. You know, authenticity is very, like, you know, I gravitate towards it. And so people who are not, people who haven't figured themselves out, put me off a lot. You know, some people out there may not care, but for me, you know, exemplifying that authenticity you have inside means a lot to me. I tend to be very sentimental and very, very warming, and you know, very suave. I'm just very very in the moment with that rawness, that realness that people have. Like, if you were to put like a ENFJ, right? There's only two extroverted feeler dominants. There's the ESFJ and the ENFJ. I was made to be a superhero based on my function, right? Extroverted feeling. I would probably be able to effortlessly, as my superpower, I'd probably be able to effortlessly maneuver and engineer and communicate social situations. I would be able to talk to anybody, more so than I can now. I don't know how that's possible, but you know, I would be able to be kind of like in God mode of understanding, talking to people, persuading people, being attractive, you know, through communication. The idea is that I want to effortlessly maneuver through people. And now it doesn't have this connecting aspect of manipulation, but I want to be able to just understand people, to navigate myself and understand people that much more, and and to bridge the gap of understanding. And part of the reason why I got into MBTI to begin with is the idea that, I wanted to understand people because I was tired of feeling this resistance, of not being able to both be understood and understand others. Because of MBTI, because of my focus on people naturally, which I think all ENFJ should always do, either profession-wise or personal. You should just focus on working with people, focus on working with people as a career. I want to navigate through life and be able to just master social communication. My focus is to bridge this gap that is not harmony, that's not harmonic, And, we have in the MBTI theory 16 different types. And so when I thought about it at first, I'm like, wow, how cool would it be is to be able to talk to any personality type in a way that is authentic to not only myself, but to them. There's a stigma that ENFJs are really great, and ENFPs are great manipulators of people. That's not us, right? ENFJs in a healthy place, we cannot manipulate. We cannot use our social skills for the worst or bad, right? We can't do it. We can't do that to people. But people who actually exemplify other people, other types who express extroverted feeling that's not primary will be able to do that. Because at any focus of any type, their first function preference is going to be their authenticity, right? And so whether type you look at, whether it's ENTP and extroverted thinking, INFP is an introverted feeling, you break down what that function is, and you break it down to how people can express that authentically or have that authentically. That's what matters most. The idea is that what I'm trying to say is that ENFJs are meant to bridge that harmony. We want to connect people and have a good time. It's not about personal endeavors really. It does after a while though when it comes to personal growth and growing. But the exploration is really more to adventure with people and to learn and grow. So this has been me talking about ENFJ for a little while. And so I really hope this kind of gave you an outlook into what an ENFJ kind of is like, personality-wise. And I hope this helped you in some way. And if you want me to make a video on something else, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and I definitely see them because I see all the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. And there's a lot of stuff going on MBTV, so if you're a new viewer, we do a lot of different personality stuff. We do a lot of personal growth stuff. MBTV is a business to really educate people and to help people grow. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you want to see more content about how to help other people, how to help yourself, how to grow and personally develop, that would be really great. We'd like to see, we'd want to see you become more present in the other things we have going on. We have a Slack chat, a chat room system for personal growth and MBTI and other stuff like that. And we have a forum on our website, and we just have a ton of stuff. And we have live events every Wednesday and Sunday now. So if you could, we'd love to see you there. If you sign up for our email list on our website, you'll actually see all that content in your email on a semi-weekly basis, and you can possibly participate in those live events if you actually sign up for the email list, because we sometimes ask people in our email list, hey, do you want to be on our live event? And you can go into our YouTube channel, you'll be able to kind of see what we're doing about that. So I hope you like this video again, and I'm not going to make this too long, so if you can, please like this video, subscribe, and write any ideas or thoughts you had down below about the video, about the scenery, about the topic, about ENFJs and preferring an ENFJ. And I'll just see you next time. So thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Forced to extrovert quite a bit. So I appeared to be an extrovert. I also had a ESFJ mother, and I think what may have happened was she was, there was no way to go about things that I could that I could possibly, like, I couldn't. The point is, I know I'm having a hard time saying this, but I think the issue was no matter what I said.